So with us now closing in on the end of this championship season, this is the part of the year where the transfer rumours really start to ramp up, and not just with players but with managers as well. We've got so much to talk through in today's video. As always, I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below. If you've seen any other transfer rumours going around the championship, then get them down below and we'll discuss them next time. 500 likes would be massively appreciated, and if you're not subscribed already, make sure to go ahead and do so. This is your best place to stay up to date with all the rumours that are going to be going on this summer. Before we jump into any transfer news, let's talk about some managerial speculation first up. And the first place to start out is with Leeds United, because according to reports, the club are considering replacing Daniel Farke, despite him guiding the club back to the Premier League. Now, it is interesting, and it is something that has been theorised even before this story broke. Would replacing Daniel Farke give Leeds a better chance of survival in the Premier League next season? Because ultimately, that's what it's all about. And while it may be a brutal decision, if the Leeds higher-ups truly believe that that's with the best intentions for their survival hopes next season, they're going to go ahead and take that. Now, obviously, around Daniel Farke, a bit of context is worth taking into consideration. In his managerial career so far, he's managed 49 Premier League matches. He's only won 6 of them. During his 2 stints with Norwich in the Premier League, he averaged just 0.53 points per game, which, yeah, paints a picture in itself. I do think it is worth stressing, Daniel Farke being the Norwich manager in the Premier League is a whole different ballgame to Daniel Farke being the Leeds United manager in the Premier League. I think if Leeds do decide to keep Farke on, he would be backed substantially more in the transfer market than he was in those 2 Norwich seasons, where he was really up against it. Don't get me wrong, that'll be the case for Leeds next season as well, but with the backing they have behind them, he'd certainly be expecting more backing in that transfer window. But it all comes down to whether or not Leeds feel as if they can secure a realistic upgrade on Farke. And if they can go ahead and do that, as brutal as this may seem, it could turn out to be a masterstroke. What Leeds absolutely cannot afford to do next season is start the season slowly, get 10 games into the season, say they've only won 1 of them, and then sack Daniel Farke after they've given him a whole pre-season, backed him in the transfer window, and then they come to the conclusion that he's not up to that level. They can't afford for that to happen. Leeds fans, I'd love to get your take on this one in the comments down below. There's definitely going to be more coming out of that over these next few weeks, isn't there? The other day, we also had the news of Johannes Hoff-Thorpe being sacked by Norwich City. They're obviously going to be going into the market looking for a new manager going into next season. Jack Wilshere will be taking charge of their remaining 2 matches of the season. Now, instantly, as soon as they made that decision to switch their manager, Russell Martin became the obvious frontrunner for this job with the bookmakers. Obviously, former Norwich City player, plenty of experience previously managing in the Championship with both Swansea and Southampton, a promotion on his CV, and crucially, he's out of work right now and looking for his next opportunity. A few other names who could be in the mix for that Norwich job as well. Gary O'Neill, another former player who's looking for work at the moment. Steve Cooper, I've seen linked with that role as well. West Brom are another Championship club who are in the market for a new manager going into next season after deciding that Tony Mowbray isn't the right man to take them into that campaign. Ryan Mason, as of recording, is currently being considered as one of the top candidates, but it feels like there will be quite a bit of crossover between all the Championship clubs looking for a new manager and the sort of names that they're considering at the moment. I've also seen Gary O'Neill and Steve Cooper's names being mentioned in for that West Brom job as well. Similar sorts of names are also being linked with the Cardiff job at the moment. Obviously, Aaron Ramsey's got that role until the end of the season, and I suppose Cardiff will have to wait and see what division they're actually playing in next season before they can make a more long-term appointment. We've also had reports coming out of QPR that Martí Cifuentes could consider quitting the club after it's been claimed that there's been a sort of breakdown in the relationship between him and the club's chief executive. Now, since coming in at QPR, Cifuentes has been linked with a range of different jobs. Obviously, he did a fabulous job during his first season there. This time around, it's been a bit more of a mixed bag. Obviously, it was quite a poor start to the season for QPR, but he eventually turned that around and guided them to a solid mid-table finish. I certainly think there would be plenty of other interested parties within the Championship if he was to leave, but wait and see what updates we get on that story in the next few days and weeks. But there's some of the latest chat going on around the Championship and some managers in this division. Now, without any further ado, let's jump into the rumours. So following Burnley's promotion to the Premier League, they will have triggered several of their buy obligations, obviously with that promotion now being confirmed. So Jayden Anthony, Marcus Edwards and Zian Fleming will all be permanent Burnley players going into next season. I think, to be fair, in the case of Zian Fleming, Burnley had the obligation to buy regardless of if they were promoted or not, but those 3 deals already for Burnley can be ticked off quite promptly. They'll obviously be looking to be very busy and proactive in this transfer window, looking to upgrade that squad going up to the Premier League. Though even despite Burnley's promotion to the Premier League, there is still a bit of a question mark over James Trafford and his long-term future and whether or not that is at Turf Moor. It's been quite well documented for quite some time now that Newcastle have been big admirers of Trafford and that they potentially see him as a long-term replacement for Nick Pope. Even been claimed in previous transfer windows that there is a bit of a gentleman's agreement, that personal terms have already been agreed with Trafford and Newcastle. Whether Burnley can agree with a fee with Newcastle, though, that remains to be seen. Now, Newcastle certainly won't be the only club who are interested in Trafford after a record-breaking season in the Championship. Leeds United, another club who are supposedly sniffing around. Obviously, it's no secret that Leeds are looking to upgrade their goalkeeper going up to the Premier League. It certainly won't be Melier in between the sticks for them next season. We've had confirmation that Grady Dangana will be leaving West Brom at the end of the season upon his contract expiring. To be honest, I think we've all known that for quite some time. There was a bit of interest in the West Brom winger back in the January window. In the end, nothing quite materialised on that front in the end, but 27 years old, you'd imagine there'd be a few takers for him. John Swift is also set to depart West Brom come the end of the season as well. Been a very good Championship player in years gone by. This season, though, definitely not been at his firing best. I'd be interested to know who does pick up a player like Swift. I'd imagine someone a bit lower down in the Championship maybe would be willing to take a punt on him. And then you've got Semi Ajayi, who's also expected to depart the Hawthorns come the end of the season as well. Be interested to see where he ends up. Both Leeds and Burnley are supposedly interested in Ipswich forward George Hurst. It has been claimed that Ipswich are looking to tie the striker down to a new deal. Now, in the Premier League this season, the 26-year-old has predominantly been a backup to Liam Delap, but with it looking more than likely that Liam Delap will be leaving Ipswich next season, he'll almost certainly be snapped up by a Premier League club. Ipswich want to go ahead and keep Hurst around for this next Championship campaign. It looks like Ryan Ledson will be leaving Preston come the end of the season with his contract set to expire. The club won't be offering him a new deal, and I'm very interested to see where he ends up next. Thinking back to the January transfer window, you had Portsmouth who were interested in him. It'll be interesting to see if they come back in for him with him now available on a free transfer, or if he wants to stick around a bit locally. I wouldn't be that surprised if he did drop down to League One, maybe signing for, I don't know, someone like a Bolton or a Wigan perhaps. A very good servant for North End over these last few years, obviously someone who is very committed, but North End are at a stage now where I think we need to be brutal this summer in terms of rebuilding the spine of this squad, and unfortunately for players like Ledson, it probably means that I think it is the right decision to let them go. Speaking of Preston North End, an obvious area where we are looking to upgrade in the summer is the goalkeeping position, and someone that we are being linked with right now is Leicester City's Daniel Everson. Obviously, we did have him on loan at Preston previously, one of the best goalkeepers we've had in recent times, and quite crucially, his contract with Leicester does come to an end this summer as well. Now, a potential stumbling block in this deal for North End would be his wages. He's on a decent contract with Leicester right now, and wherever he does end up going next, he'll probably be demanding a decent wage, but it's a position that we absolutely need to strengthen. In the case of Freddie Woodman, it'll be interesting to see where he ends up being available on a free transfer, but getting a player like Daniel Everson on a permanent basis, I'd be all over that. Poku at Peterborough has long been linked with a move to the Championship, and it looks like Birmingham are really going to be pushing the boat out to try and fend off the interest in him. Now, the 23-year-old will be made available as a free agent this summer upon his contract with Peterborough expiring. He's been one of the standout players in League One this season, despite Peterborough not really pulling up many trees. He's scored 12 goals and got 8 assists in just 26 appearances, and it's been claimed that Birmingham would be prepared to offer him a deal worth £30,000 per week to go ahead and lure him to St Andrews. Listen, we know Birmingham have got the big bucks, and when a player like that is available on a free transfer, you're going to be able to put more money into his wages. Off the bat, if Birmingham are able to get that deal over the line, though, I think that one would be a real statement of intent. I'd imagine quite a few Championship clubs would be sniffing around him, though. But there you have it, guys. That will now wrap it up for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you did go to enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and if you've seen any other transfer rumours going on, make sure to drop them in the comments down below. Apart from that, though, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.